Hey there guys, today we're discussing how good is Folk Hero.
But just before we get into the video for today, if you are enjoying the content that I'm putting out there, please do consider subscribing, turning on that notifications. It really helps us out. But with that being said, let's get right on into the video for today.
Alright, so today we're discussing the new legendary enchantment background, Folk Hero. So it has commander creatures you own have whenever you cast a spell that shares a creature type with this creature, draw a card. This ability only triggers once each turn. So here's something that, rules-wise, I guess maybe I should have tried to explain or tried to dive a bit deeper on into how backgrounds work in that video that I did. Was, do backgrounds actually count as quote-unquote your commander as well? Because you can't run a legendary enchantment background as your commander, but you're running this background as your partner to your commander, so it's also your commander because it's in your command zone, and you're casting it as if it's, your commander, I guess. But I'm not sure that that's how it actually works. So background says you can have a background as a second commander. So that card is your second commander. So yes, I believe now that I've reread that little bit of text of how background works, that it does count itself as being your commander. So technically, in a sense, this triggers twice. If you have both this and your other commander, which has to say choose a background, on it as your commanders. So if you have Folk Hero plus your commander, both of these are going to trigger separately from one another. So you are going to get to draw two cards from casting a creature spell with the same type as, the card that it is. But Folk Hero, I guess it only counts nothing. Maybe it counts backgrounds. The backgrounds isn't a creature type. So I don't think it actually works with Folk Hero, but you would technically, in theory, get the trigger from it. But it does matter for some other backgrounds that actually say commanders you have this ability. So that works a little bit different. But anyway, I don't think that unless you have a lot of ways to play things with Flash, that it's that good. It's not terrible. I won't say that it's not that good. I will say that it is just good, or it's just okay. If you have lots of ways, especially for mono white or for white essentially, but if you have lots of ways, and I mean lots of ways to cast things with Flash, then this thing is absolutely as cracked as all buggery. Because even though you only get it once per each opponent's turn, if you have white mainline, even that is a card that you can play with Flash. What's that? I play it on your turn, Steve. All right, it returns to my hand, but I draw two cards, or I draw one card at least, at minimum. So that will keep me up with card advantage. If I'm playing God Eternal Oketra somehow with backgrounds, I don't know. But if I'm playing a deck like that, or perhaps Taurens with backgrounds, and somehow I have my background somehow, again, I'm getting that 1/1. I'm getting this thing bounced to my hand, and I'm drawing a card. Draw 3 cards before my turn starts, and then I'll draw 2 cards on my turn. That seems really insane when you have Flash. But only if you have flash. If you don't have flash, you cast something that has the same type as your commander, which isn't folk hero, even though it is sort of your commander, but it doesn't really work because nothing has the same creature types as it is because it's not a creature. Um, Unless you can turn it into a creature, but then it doesn't have any types, so it doesn't really matter. Um, Unless they count enchantment when it is a creature, but I don't think it does. Creature type with this creature. So it's not a type of creature, it's just an enchant. I don't know. That's really weird. But anyway, still, the whole point is that you will get that one card on your turn, past your opponent, nothing will happen. The next opponent goes, the next opponent goes. Then it'll be your turn. Yes, you'll get one extra card per turn from this 2-mana enchantment. That is okay. If you're running it in a 99 singleton deck, sure, you'll get it once every so often. If you've got a few tutors, then sure, you'll get it every now and again as well and have that bit more consistency. If you have a whole lot of tutors in your deck, yeah, it depends on what colors again you're in. But if you do have a whole lot of tutors, yeah, sure, you might actually pull this thing out a couple times here and there. But how many times out of the times that you're going to be tutoring are you going to actually tutor for this thing? I don't know. Isn't that actually that critical? Or is it, better than anything else? Unless you're actually doing those more busted things with flashing things in on each opponent's turn. You have Vidalcan Orrery and things like this and whatnot. You have Leyline of whatever, the blue Leyline. I can never remember its name now, apparently. But whatever. Anyway, you have those sorts of things. Then this thing, goes 100% into your deck. I know there's a lot of Azorius, sort of control or whatnot, cantrip style, just decks that are like, okay, cool. I'm going to pass the turn with 4 mana up. First turn, I will ponder or brainstorm or whatever, or scry or, preordained or whatever. I don't know whether any of them are those were instants, but whatever. I will cast a 1 mana instant, cantrip of some sort. Except Brainstorm. I know Brainstorm was a instant, but whatever. I will cast this 1 mana cantrip. Next turn. Okay, cool. I'm going to cast this 1 mana cantrip unless something, drastic happens. Oh, wait, what's that? Oh, no, counterspell it. If no one does anything, you just play all these cantrips and go, okay, cool. Now I'm going to draw all these cards. So, yeah, I don't know. Like, it's going to be tough to get around that play pattern because you've got to play creatures. So, are you going to find the space to be able to play all your cantrips, or all your cantrips going to be creatures? Like, there's that new dog that's an enchantment that also, when it ETBs, you draw a card. So, what's the I can't remember what the old one is that makes a clue and you sack it to get that. If you find ways to loop bouncing that to your hand, so you're paying 4 mana to draw cards, but that's the going rate for white, I would say. But anyway, that's pretty decent for mono white or for white decks that don't have green, don't have blue, etc. So yeah, but yeah, I do think that it is good. I don't think unless you have those flash synergies that it's as good, but certainly it is certainly good. But yeah, you really want to abuse it. You don't want to just be like, oh, well, it's there and it exists and it's in my colors. So yeah, but some people will want to run this in those decks because, hey, wow, it's white card advantage or it's white card draw. Huzzah, we have done it. I have something that gives me some sort of card advantage. I will run that because at least I'm getting something as long as I'm playing that one tribe. So I guess angels? I don't know. Humans, maybe? All the backgrounds are monocolored, so you'll only be like 2 colors. So I'm not too sure how many options there are. Once you go into blue or green, you're probably not going to run this thing as your background because there's probably other backgrounds that just do more. I guess. I don't know. I would be pretty hard pressed to say that green or blue would have card advantage problems without a card like this. So that's just my perspective of it. But anyway, if you are running another one of the colors, even though I would say black doesn't have as much of a problem with card advantage, but certainly it has that problem of being like, well, I just have to sack stuff. Dot deck. So if you don't want to do that whole thing and want to go in a different direction, kind of, then maybe. But again, it does depend on what your type is. So you're going to have to commit to that tribe pretty heavily, and it's going to have to be with one of the other choose a background legends that exist. So that's the problem that these sort of cards come up to, is like no matter how good they are on their own, they're only going to be as kind of good as what they can be given the right, front ground essentially, or right, pairing, right color pairing at least. Because again, if I was to go into blue with some other foreground, I'm going to be like, well, why am I choosing this if I could choose any other background? Unless I'm playing like some blue-white Sphinx tribal deck or something, I don't know. Um, there's probably not. There's probably a whole lot of other better options for me in my colors as it is. So, not too sure that this actually helps me. Same with green. What's that? I sneeze and I draw 50 cards. Okay, cool. So it's not seemingly like that I super need it there either. Yeah, but anyway, no. But you guys, that's pretty much it here for this one. And you guys can let me know what you think. Am I so super wrong? You can let me know your thoughts down there in the comments below. Do try to be civil down there, because I know that some of the comments have been being automatically removed because of that, and whatnot. But anyway, um, yeah, as long as you are pretty civil about it, we will have a nice little conversation in those chats. Because I really love interacting with you guys and talking about all the geeky things that we love here in EDH. But yeah, if I don't see you in those comments, I'll see you in the next one.